I'm rereading this series because a lot of people love this series a lot, and I really want to love it too, because it's not like I hated it, but I want to love it. So here I am already loving this series. I read the first book and I loved it. Why did no one tell me this? Like, I was so dumb. So what actually had happened was I read the series first and then I read this series. That's why I did not understand the first book, like the first few chapters, that properly, because the first few chapters are based on the last book. Like, the first few chapters happen in this book, when in this book the ending chapters are there. Did you understand? But it's not compulsory for you to read this series first and then read this book. It's not compulsory. But if you want in-depth background of the entire story, or the main character Jax, the Prince of Heart, as he's in this series also, and I had loved him in this series, but I love him more in this. And I'm actually happy that he got his entire series based on it. And before I get into this video further, I just want to give a disclaimer that this video might contain spoilers. So if you haven't read the book, you shouldn't watch this video, but if you want to, you can watch it. I have no problem. And if you have read the book, please feel free to watch it. And you know, I really knew from the start that her stepsister is evil, and it was so funny when I found out that I couldn't stop laughing, because like, Evangeline, seriously, he was such a pretty intelligent girl. In this book right now, the last chapter was Evangeline finding out that Jax was the one who had manipulated her and all, and that Apollo is alive, but he's in that suspended state. So she wants to bring him back alive. So I'll give you guys updates in between, like whatever chapters I am on and what is going on in the overall story and my thoughts on it. Okay, so now I'm gonna read this book. I am 4 chapters in, and till now whatever has happened I'll tell you guys. So basically, Evangeline opens a door and she thinks that it is the Valerie Arch, but it is not actually the Valerie Arch. The librarian who is there, he comes in and tells that she can open the arch by placing the stones. There are 4 stones, I guess, but she doesn't want to do it, as that would be helping Jax with his thing that he needs from the inside. So she doesn't want to open it, and she's staying away from Jax as she is the key to the arch. And then she gets a newspaper by the Apollo's bodyguard. The newspaper says that there is a hire that is going to come, as Apollo is dead, because no one else knows other than Evangeline that Apollo is alive. And obviously Jax also knows that Apollo is alive, as Jax is the one who has apparently put him to the not so dead position. When she reads the paper, the Daily Rumor paper, the name of the hire who is going to take over the Apollo's kingdom, it's there, and I kind of understood who it is. Like, it is very evident with the name that who is it going to be, but I'm still not sure, but I feel like I know who it is going to be. So yeah, that newspaper thing happened, and then she went to Lala, her friend, who is the unwedded bride. She can't get married ever in her life, so she's a faith, like Lala is a faith, and also Evangeline's friend. So she goes there thinking that Lala would help her with Apollo's cure. She will give her some cure so that she can wake up Apollo. But that doesn't happen, because Lala says that she should open the arch, the Valerie Arch, because that's the only way that she can help Apollo and help him wake him up. But she is like, I can't, because in that way she would be helping Jax, so she doesn't want to do that. And also, the faith, Lala, her friend, thinks that the Valerie Arch is not consumed with the bad magic stuff. It is actually a good thing. So she tries to convince Evangeline that the things you are thinking, which are inside that arch, are not actually in there. They're actually good things. So even if you open it, nothing bad will happen outside in the world. So right now Evangeline is in kind of hurry to find a cure for Apollo, because tomorrow, like the next day, the new hire is going to come and obviously he will take over the kingdom. So before that, she needs to wake Apollo up so that he can be the king again, the prince again. Like, yeah.
To stay by the sea, watching turn into red. Sat down with the people.
So now what has happened is Evangeline went to see Apollo where he was resting, and there Jax came. So when Jax came, he can control other people, like mostly only 3 people he can control at a time. So he was controlling Apollo's bodyguard and one more guy who is there stationed to protect Apollo from anyone coming in. There Evangeline and Jax kind of argue, and that time Jax tell her that I am giving you the last warning, or the last time I'm telling you to open the arch so that you can save Apollo, otherwise it will be bad for you if you don't help me. So when that happens, she is near Apollo. So when she's like, no, I won't help you no matter what you tell me, no matter what you say, because this might be one of your tricks. So she tells no and she's near Apollo. So that time Apollo grabs her hand, and when she looks at Apollo, his eyes are red and he's about to break her hand, like break her bones, like crush it into pieces. So Jax comes in between and helps her out. That time Apollo's hand gets hurt when Jax helps Evangeline. So Evangeline also gets hurt, but Jack's knife has not touched her. So she wonders, like, what just happened? He helped me out from Apollo's grip by harming Apollo, not me. So the same mark is there on Apollo's hand and on her hand also. So at time Jax tells her that it is one of another curse. Like she has got cursed again. How many times is this woman getting cursed? I don't know. That time Jax tells her that whenever Apollo will get hurt, or even when he is dying, she'll get to know and she'll also die with him. After saying that, Jax disappears, and then she follows him, and he disappears while she is following. That time when she is up in the wolf hall, she sees some differences. So there are 2 girls walking. She asks them like, what is going on? So they tell that the new king, the new prince, has come earlier than expected and everyone is celebrating. So that time she's shocked because no one told her, and also on the fact that the prince did not invite her to the celebration. Then 2 bodyguards come and tells her that the prince wants to see her. So she goes with the guards to the hall where he's sitting. And when she reaches the hall, she sees who the prince is. And it is the guy, it is the boy she once loved. Her first love, who is turned into a vampire right now. So Luke is sitting there, which I knew that it is him. Like it was so evident from the name. So he is the future king of the land which Apollo was supposed to rule. And that time Jax comes, and when Jax comes, Luke is about to attack Evangeline. So Jax protects her, and that time Apollo's bodyguard comes and is trying to tell Evangeline something, but Evangeline is like, I need to get out of this place. I need to get away from Jax, Luke. She wants to find a cure for Apollo as fast as possible because she wants Luke to get out of this kingdom as fast as possible. So when she is trying to get away from Jax and Apollo's bodyguard, she sees that her stepsister is waiting outside as Luke has invited her for dinner. And she's like, this dinner is for Luke, as Luke is going to eat her, as he's a vampire. So she doesn't want that, even though her stepsister has betrayed her, had put a curse on her, and has done a lot of things. She doesn't want her stepsister to die. So she is like, you should not go inside where the prince is sitting. And then her stepsister is like, she obviously doesn't listen to her. That time she tells Jax, even though she doesn't want to help her out, to control her stepsister so that she won't die. And Jax is like, she's not worth it. I mean, she has done so much stuff and you want to save her, and she's like, yeah, I don't want her to die. So Jax does that, and in favor he doesn't ask anything, which shocks Evangeline. Like, I just asked him a favor and he did not, didn't say anything in return. And then she's trying to get away from Jax. And when she is trying to get away from Jax, she also ignores Apollo's bodyguard. He's trying to tell her something from such a long time, but she's just not listening. She just goes trying to get away from Jax, but she can't get away from Jax. So she just stops. And that time, while she's talking with Jax, she sees a shadow who is on a horse. So there is basically a man on a horse, and she feels like that shadow is very familiar. So she tries to look in the darkness who it is, and it is Apollo. So basically Apollo is awake, which I did not see coming. I don't know if I'm happy or not, because I kind of like Apollo till now. The way he has been described, I like it. And all of a sudden he tells this line, God, you are beautiful. He says that, and then he tells her to get away from her. And while she's like, why should I get away? Jax is also like, we should go now, we should run. And that time Apollo pulls an arrow and shoots at her leg, and she gets injured. And then she gets dizzy, and then she just faints. So right now she had this dream of the book, the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox, and she is in someone's arm right now, probably Jack's arms. So yeah, right now I'm there. Until now I am loving this story so damn much. Evangeline is getting stronger and stronger, and I feel like I am in the book. I am in that place, the Wolf Hall. I am legitimately in that, and I'm witnessing with my own two eyes. So till now I'm loving the story. So let's see what happens ahead. What the hell is going I am shocked. Okay, so she wakes up from that dream, okay, and she is in Chaos's underground castle. So who is Chaos now? Chaos is basically a vampire who has a helmet, because he's a vampire and that helmet doesn't come out. So the vampires live like their food is basically blood and human, right? So Chaos cannot drink human blood or cannot bite humans or eat humans because he has that helmet on. So when Evangeline wakes up, she's in his underground castle, and obviously I am shocked because apparently Jax is working with Chaos, and Jax doesn't like vampires. Like the last time they had come in the first book, they had gone to Chaos's underground castle, and there it was very evident that Jax did not like vampires at all. But right now he is working with Chaos. So that shocks Evangeline, like how come he's friends with Chaos when he definitely said that I don't like vampires. So right now she is in his castle as she is injured. So to heal that injured leg, the best cure is vampire's venom. So basically she needs to get bitten by a vampire so that she can fix her injured leg, which Apollo had injured her through an arrow. When she wakes up, she's not able to move properly, and she's like, I want to get out of here. But then Chaos is like, you won't be able to get out of here because you have an injured leg. So that time, and she is like, I need to get out of here, she gets locked in a cage. She is like, let me get out of here, let me get out of here. And that time Chaos grabs her hand, which on the rim of the cage, and lends it to a vampire, a guard who is standing there, and that guard bites Evangeline with her venom. And Jax is also there. So Jax is like, you need to get bitten so that your injured leg would heal quickly. And that time she's like, no, I don't want to turn into a vampire. I can't do that. But anyhow, she gets bitten, and the venom of the vampire is in her blood now. And that time Jax is standing there, and he just leaves her there, and she's shocked that Jax is leaving her there when she had been by his side when he was bitten by a vampire, and she was trying to make him back into a human being, but he's not doing that. So she's just little bit confused, like, why is he doing this? Why is he leaving me right now in this condition? And Evangeline is slowly turning into a vampire, but she needs to stay away from human blood and humans for at least a one night till the sun rises, so that she doesn't turn into a vampire. So she needs to control that. But whenever Jax is coming in front of her eyesight, she can't control it, because vampires can't control their body that fast. Like, their instincts get over their body faster. It's a really hard task to control yourself as a vampire. So whenever Jax is coming, obviously she can't control it. So Chaos is trying to make her control by pressing her body against the bed so that she doesn't get out of his grip and bites any human being or Jax. During that time, Chaos reveals that I am helping Jax because I also want the Valerie arch to open so that this helmet that I'm wearing gets off. So basically Chaos is helping Jax because Jax and Chaos has the same goal, to open the Valerie arch, and Chaos wants to remove his helmet and Jax wants something inside from it. So then after that she drifts off to sleep, and then when she wakes up, no one is around her, and she's like, I need to get out of here, because now she's normal. The venom has gone away. She's not a vampire, she's back human being, and now she wants to get out of there. So when she gets out of the underground castle of Chaos, she is into a forest. So she doesn't know the directions that properly, so she gets lost. And when she's lost, she hears some footsteps, and that footsteps are not human footsteps, they are animal footsteps. And slowly she sees Apollo on a horse, and then Apollo that time shouts that I am feeling this pull towards you, so if you are here, run away, because I don't have much control over my body, and if I see you, I'll kill you. So basically they are cursed, right? Like, when she looks at Apollo, his eyes are turned red, the way they had turned red when he was first woken up and grabbed her hand. So that time she had got to know that he is cursed. I mean, they both are cursed. So she needs to run away from Apollo so that she doesn't die, because if she dies, he will also die, because they are cursed. So when she sees Apollo's eyes are looking at something, not looking, basically searching something, and it is for her. And that time Jax comes from behind and grabs her mouth so that she doesn't say a word, and says, don't make a sound, little fox. I am loving Jax. I don't know, he's just being so protective in this book. And then when Apollo is little further away, when they can speak properly, Jax says that I know what the curse is. So that time she asks, what is the curse? So that time Jax tells her that it is from her favorite childhood book, The Ballad of the Archer and the Fox. So basically, whoever has put a curse on them has put the curse of that book on them. So basically the archer is Apollo and the fox is Evangeline. So basically Jack says no, Apollo is not the archer, but it seems someone has put that curse on Apollo. That time she asks herself, is it a mistake trusting Jax again? Because whenever she has trusted Jax, nothing good has come to her. She just runs away from Jax into the forest again, and that time when she is running again, Apollo comes in front of her, and that time Jax in her mind tells her to run. So there is a cliff over there. when she's running, there is a cliff, and then Jax comes beside her, and Jax is like, jump, and she's like, I can't jump, and then he's like, then hold on, and then they both jump off the cliff to get away from Apollo. Love this para so much. Jack's chest was heaving, his clothes were soaked, his hair was a mess across his face. Yet in that moment, Evangeline knew he would carry her through more than just freezing waters. He would pull her through fire if he had to, haul her from the clutches of war, from falling cities and breaking worlds. Line is so Jax, like he will literally do that for Evangeline. So that time she's like, let me go, because that thoughts were consuming her. So she just wanted to get away from Jax, as he was holding her, as she could not swim, right? So he was holding her. So Jax is like, we need to get back to the Chaos's underworld castle. There she would be safe. And she's like, I don't want to go there because there are vampires there. And she also doesn't trust Jax and Chaos, obviously. So that time, Jax is like, no one ever wants to go back there, but Apollo will keep hunting you until you are dead. So Evangeline is like, you can control people, right? So just control him. Then Jax is like, no, I can't control him. The curse only breaks when Archer kills his prey. Then he says, but every curse has a back door. And that back door is to open the Archer. And Evangeline is like, so basically, every curse has one solution, and that is to open the Valerie Arch. And then Evangeline is like, you know what, this is like better, right? Whatever is happening right now, it's better than opening the arch. But then he's like, then you clearly misunderstood the situation. The Valerie Arch has remained locked for thousands of years because it is nearly impossible to unlock. If there was any other way to break this curse on Apollo and ensure you do not die, I would do it. Because if you agree to open the arch, it's far more likely that Apollo will kill you first. The Archer's curse won't let him rest until you are dead. So then she thinks that who the hell has put this curse on them? Because the person who can put the curse is Apollo's brother, but he is behind the bars. And also her stepsister, who won't do it because neither her stepsister nor Apollo's brother know that Apollo is alive. So they can't do it. So who the hell would do it? So then she thinks Protectorate. So Protectorate are basically a secret society that mostly is considered a myth. She was only aware that they existed because their primary goal was to ensure the Valerie Arch never opened. And Apollo's brother was a part of that society, and that was the reason why he tried to kill Evangeline in the first book. That time she tries to ask Jax that who the hell would be the person who has put the curse, and that time he's like, it doesn't matter now because the curse is already there and it won't go away until and unless you find a solution, and that solution is to open the arch. So now there was one more key alive. So Evangeline wasn't the only key who could open the arch. There was one more person, but apparently she is dead because she managed to retrieve one of the arch's missing stones, but the Protectorate found her and chopped her head off. So till now, not only Evangeline, but I also thought that she was the only key alive, but she's not the only one. There was one more girl. Here I have reached, and I am very much interested because every chapter is giving a twist right now. And the fact that she wasn't the only key. Who the hell is the key? And who the hell has put the curse on them? Because I'm really curious, who is that person? And I really feel that Apollo wants to save her, and I really think that Apollo loves her, even though he was under a curse first, but right now he's under a different curse. Not that love spell, but a different curse. And I think he really loves her and he wants to protect her.
I want to stay by the sea, watching turn.
So something really sad happened just now, not in the book, but in my life. So basically I had filmed a K-drama review video and the entire footage got lost. It's fine. But I'm not gonna reshoot it because I'm too tired to do that, and I had actually put a lot of effort in shooting that and editing whatever I had done till now. But it's fine. I won't be able to upload it obviously because I don't have the footage. But it's fine. It's fine. And I am not in the mood to read right now because probably while sleeping at night I'll read the book ahead and give you guys update tomorrow. I know I said that I'll update in the morning, but I was reading and what the Jax is from the family of Slatherwood. I'll just give you guys the update because I cannot stop this reading thing. Now Jax is like, you need to open the arch, so we need to hurry and find the missing stones. So Evangeline is like, first you tell me, why do you want to open the arch? Then probably I'll help you, but first tell me. So that time Jax is like, I'm flattered you are taken such an interest in my wants, but you really should start thinking about your husband more than me. In case you have forgotten, little fox, Apollo is under Arch's curse. If you don't agree to open the Valerie Ark, to break it, he will kill you, just like the archer murdered the fox. Now, Evangeline is like, I won't let him ruin my favorite childhood story. So she's like, that did not happen, like Archer did not kill the fox. You don't know the ending. No one knows the ending because the story is cursed. Evangeline at the end, she just gives up, thinking that she doesn't want Apollo to chase her entire life, and she also doesn't want to keep running away from him. So there is no other way but to open the arch. So she finally says like, fine, you know what, let's find the stones and open the arch. And then on the 15th chapter, Evangeline asks, why are you always eating apples? And I am also in that same question. Why the hell is he always eating apples? And then Jack says, trust me, little fox, you are better off not knowing. Why though? Then to find the stones, missing stones, they go to the chaos's study, and there she is the key, right, to any door basically. So whenever she drops the blood, the door opens. When they are finding, she finds a necklace, and then she is very pulled towards that necklace, so she just picks it up and wonders what it is. That time chaos comes and he takes that necklace from her hand, and she's like, give that back to me, give that back to me, that doesn't belong to you, that belongs to me, because she's feeling that pull towards that necklace. Chaos doesn't give her back, and he keeps the necklace back in the drawer where she has found it. And when it's back in the drawer, she feels different. So basically the necklace has the power, like she just wanted that necklace close to her, but then it was gone. She was back to normal. So then she asked, what was that thing? Then Chaos says, that thing is the lucky stone. It is one of the 4 magical missing arc stones. And then she finds out that the stone affects everyone only because the luck stone makes people reckless. And the 4 stones were one for luck, one for truth, one for mirth. Am I pronouncing it right? Mirth. One for youth. So they have 1 stone and they have to find 3 more to open the arch. After that, Chaos takes them to a library where apparently Chaos has kept all the books that were missing from the other libraries. So basically, Evangeline has been trying to find the books on valors and the curse stories, and also the book of the Ballad of Archer and the Fox, but she did not find it anywhere. But she finds the books of Valor's family history and all. So basically Chaos has kept hidden those books in his library so that no one would touch it, as every time anyone touch that book, the letters change, the text change, the story twists. So just trying to keep them safe, Chaos had kept them in his library. Evangeline kept going back to the library to find the stories more about the cure on Apollo, on his curse, and other stuffs of valor, and how to open the arch, where to find the 3 missing stones and all that. Then over there we find out more about the different houses. So basically there are many houses. So the later days she started to find out more about the houses. She wanted to read more about the houses, and then she wanted to read about the house Slatherwood. So basically, Slatherwood is Lala's fiance. So Lala, her friend, and Faith is getting married soon. So Lala's fiance, Lord Robin Slatherwood, is from the Slatherwoods family. So she wanted to know who is Lala getting married to, which kind of family she's getting into, and all that. She tries to, find out about it. But unfortunately, it seemed there were no book spines mentioning House Slatherwood, or if there were, the story curse had altered them. It did that a lot. So basically, she did not find any books based on that house. So that time, Chaos comes into the library, and then she just asks him, like, why aren't there any books based on House of Slatherwood? So then he is like, they are like useless, but you can try this one book. So he gives her one book. So when Chaos came, she was holding a book and she drops that book down on the floor, and then he disappears. But even the book that Chaos had given her, the letters, the story keeps on changing. So, like, she doesn't get anything in detail about the House of Slatherwood. And when Chaos disappeared from the library, she found a little chit kind of thing, and in that there were signs of different stones which she needed to find to open the arch. So basically, she thought that those signs were some kind of clue so that she can get close to that stones and get them. And then the next day, while she was having a breakfast, the Daily Rumor newspaper came to her, and that time in that newspaper it was written that her friend Lala is getting married and that she's going to hold a party and she's going to invite everyone. And the newspaper that she has got, which contains the Lala's party information, the headlines are kind of scribbled, so she can't see the first word that properly, but the rest of the information is there. And that time she kind of felt sad that I also want to go to my friend's party, it's after all her wedding, but she cannot go. So then she turns the paper, and then she finds and one more heading. It is about Apollo's brother who is in jail. So she thinks about visiting him, and that time she thinks that maybe the society which Apollo's brother is part of, protectorate. So she thought that that society is probably hiding a missing stone, as that society's work is to protect, to save, to kill everyone who is trying to open the arch. So as Apollo's brother is in jail, she goes and meets him, and there she tries to convince him that you should tell me where the stones are. That's the only way your brother would be saved. Yes, your brother is alive. But that time also, Apollo's brother is like, no, I won't help you no matter what. He's legitly like, I do love my brother, but saving his life isn't worth this risk. If you have a heart, let him shoot it with an arrow. Throw yourself into another tragic northern ballad and keep the rest of us safe from the power locked inside the Valory. She's going back to the underworld castle of chaos, and on her way she gets kind of lost. That time Luke comes. He asks her that, do you want to come to a party with me? And she's like, what kind of party? And it is her best friend's Lala's party. So that time Luke shows her the invitation, and the scribbled word which was there in the newspaper, which she had read, but it was scribbled in her. But she now saw the word Mirith, and that time her brain starts to work again, and she's like, what if those three missing stones are going to come in Lala's party? But she needs to somehow convince Chaos now that she wants to go to the party. She tells Jax everything about the things she has learned. So basically, she tells him that we need to go, that she needs to go to the Lala's party so that she can get those stones. She says, when Chaos showed me the lucky stone, I felt its power and I wanted it more than I ever wanted anything in my life. So I think whoever has the stones will be wearing them at this party because they won't let them out of their sight. So Jax then is like, Chaos cannot know we are going to House Slatherwood. And she's like, why? Because if he knows, he won't let us go. Because House Slatherwood is the reason we are in this mess, little fox. And I'm kind of confused over like why? There are so many questions left unanswered, and instead of solving one question, one more question is getting added. Where are the answers? And right now it shook me because while she was getting ready for the party, the book that Chaos had given her that day in the library, it's on her bedside table, and she picks it up because the title changes to The Ballad of Archer and the Fox. So she picks up hoping that she can find the ending and also a different kind of solution to cure Apollo's curse. And that time she turns pages, but only the front page, the title was The Ballad of the Archer and the Fox, but not the inside. It did not contain that story. It was something else only, like portraits and all. And while she was looking through the portrait, she sees a portrait. One young man looked friendly, one looked highborn, and one looked exactly like Jax. And I think he's from Slatherwood family. She found herself holding her breath as she searched for Jack's name, but the caption said the Marywood 3. The word Marywood flickered to Bitterwood, and suddenly Evangeline remembered that she had seen another reference to this trio. It had been in the book that had disappeared after she had dropped. Jax is the archer. There were Prince Castor Valor, Relic Marywood, and son of Lord Marywood, and a nameless archer who she suspected could have been the same archer from the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox. I think I'm not gonna sleep early tonight. He just called her love. It hurts, Jax. I know, love. I'm gonna take you somewhere safe. I finished this book. I was on the part 2 of the book, and I have to talk about all these pages now. The last time we talked was she finding out a picture of Jax. Then she tells him that you were a part of that Marywood 3 where she saw Prince Castor Valor, Lyric Marywood, son of Lord Marywood, and a nameless archer. So she saw this picture and she told him that, I saw a photo of you, and he's like, it's not true, and all that happens. So now I'll talk about part 2 of the book. So what happens here is she and Jax goes to the Lala's engagement party, like some sort of party that her friend Lala had invited. They both are traveling there, and that time she is carrying this sheet that she had found when she was in the library, the Chaos's underground castle's library. She had found that chit where there were signs or clues of the stones, the 4 stones. So she's looking at that picture, and across from her Jax is sitting. So she thinks about the picture she had seen, and Jax had said that they all are dead and all, but she cannot trust him. So she thinks that Jax is from the family of Valors, and then she thinks that he wants to open the Valory Arch to save his family or something like that. And then he tells her the story of the Marywoods, like Relic Marywood, son of Lord Marywood, had misfortunes of falling in love with Aurora Valor. She was the most beautiful woman alive ever. He tells ahead their story and all. Like Lyric said that the engagement did not matter because it wasn't a love match. Like Aurora was supposed to get married to someone else, but they loved each other. Lyric and Aurora loved each other. So things happened. Aurora tried to break off the wedding to marry Relic, but her father refused. And he tells all that story until that time they reach the place, and she thinks that the story is cursed because the story that she had seen in the book, the picture of Jax and others, that time there was some other picture, and the story he was telling is something else. So she just thinks that just like other stories which are cursed, this story also might be cursed. And then she asks about Archer, and he is like, he was no one except maybe to the fox, but I have already told told you how the story ends. And then Evangeline tells him that now that we are going to her friends Lala's engagement party, she doesn't want any disturbance there, interference in her friends' happiness. So she tells her that you are not gonna kill anyone and all. But then Jax tells her someone is going to die. It will be one of them or one of us. Then they reach there and everyone in that party knows Evangeline. And that time they are like, I still think she's the one who killed the prince. I don't know why everyone ravels about her hair and all that, so they know about Apollo and her story. That time Lala enters and then Lala is walking them towards a place, and that time she sees pictures. Aurora was supposed to marry Vengeance Slatherwood. She did not marry him. Vengeance Slatherwood's second bride to be, her photo was there, and obviously she had married him. So she sees all that. So that time Lala takes Evangeline and Jax to their respected rooms, and that time Lala tells Evangeline that he always disliked House Slatherwood. That time Evangeline is like, but Jax told me that Chaos had a problem with this house, and Jax also told me that House Slatherwood is the reason we are all in this mess. And after that Lala leaves. So Evangeline's room and Jack's room is side to side. So when Lala leaves, she goes to the Jack's room and Evangeline could hear what Lala and Jax are talking. Evangeline heard, can you undo the curse? Jax asks. That time she finds out that last week when Evangeline was in Chaos's underground castle, Jax had written a note and left for 2 whole weeks. Now she understood where he was for the whole 2 weeks, and he was meeting Lala. And that time Lala asks, how close are you to finding the stones? He says, we need 3. Then Lala says, I hope you brought enough apples. Now I still don't know why he need apples. Why does he need apples? Then that night they go to the party that Lala has held, and they are engaging with other people and all, and also trying to find the stones. And that time Lala comes in with her fiance, and then they do that introduction and all. And that time Robin, Lala's fiance, asks Jax, which house are you from? And then Jax says, I am from a very old house. Everyone in my family died a long time ago. Now that question is lingering in her head. He could easily have been talking about Valors. All of them are dead. But then so are everyone from House Merrywood. So that time they are sitting on a table and someone comes and sit besides Evangeline. Petra, her name is Petra. Petra kind of feels familiar to Evangeline. That time Petra tells Evangeline that the man you have came with, look at him right now. So she points and Jax is leaving the hall with some girl. So Evangeline follows him and Jax is trying to kill that girl, and Evangeline had said that there will be no blood, you are not killing anyone. So they kind of argue and all. Then Jax leaves and in that hall she is alone, and that time the Daily Rumors publisher comes, and she doesn't want any article on her, because if there is an article based on her, Apollo will follow her. So it will be all chaos, and she doesn't want that to happen, because then if Apollo comes, he will try to kill Evangeline as he has the Archer's curse on him. Then she goes to her room, and the book that Chaos had got, she had brought it, and she picked up and she found an article, and there everything proved that Jax, whatever had told her on their way to that Lala's engagement party, was true. And then as the book's pages kept on changing, like every word and sentence, it changed into the family names of Slatherwood. And as she was reading, she found thing on them, and there it was written one of the stones name, Merith. He knew it could be just coincidence. A lot of people planted flowers, but hadn't Lala said something about Kendora having a famed winter garden? She was the bride of Slatherwood. So that time Evangeline is like, maybe in her grave that stone is there, so she should go and look for the stone in her grave. That time Luke comes there, and then he says, I heard you came to the party after all, so I decided to join you. So she's like, he's a vampire, right? So he might help me pick up the lid of her grave. So he helps her to pick up the lid of her grave, and that time she finds a stone there. So while she's going back to her room, she sees that Petra is near her and Jack's room. So that time she's like, why is she here? Petra had seemed to dislike Jax. So she thought that probably Petra is here to kill Jax and all, or probably talk to him, or something. So she thought that Jax might still be awake. So she went to check in his room and he wasn't there. So she slept on his bed. And then when she wakes up, Jax is like, what are you doing here and all? And then he says, I am the person who will kill this Petra girl if she goes near you again. So you should stay away unless you want her dead. So basically he's telling her to stay away from Petra girl. Then there was a ball that night. When she gets ready, she goes to Jack's room to check on him. But she doesn't enter as his door is a little ajar, and she sees that Lala is there talking to him. So she listens to what they are saying, and that time she gets to know that Lala is the one who has put curse on Apollo and her. The archer's curse has been put by Lala, her friend. And that time Lala is like, Jax, do anything but save her, because Stoff, the person who prints the Daily Rumor, has printed yet another article, and it had not written clearly that Evangeline is here, but it had written that Pink Hair Princess is here. So obviously Apollo was on his way to the Lala's engagement. She was telling Jax to take her away from this party. And when she goes to the party alone, she meets this Petra girl and she wants to get away from Jax. So she follows this Petra girl, and Petra takes her to some place, like a secret way out of there. And then Evangeline is like, how do you know this passage? I visited here 100 times. When Petra had came and sit next to Evangeline, she had told about herself a little bit, and that time she had told that she hasn't visited here at all. So she basically, this Petra, lied to Evangeline. So that time she thought that this Petra is telling the truth because of the Mirith stone. Jax had told Evangeline to stay away from Petra. She's like, I want to go back to the ball. But Petra is like, no, you are not. And that time Petra's wig fell off, and Petra's hair is also pink, just like Evangeline. So Petra is the second key who has not died, is alive. Basically, Petra has the truth stone, Evangeline has the Mirth stone. That time Evangeline and Petra kind of get into the fight because Petra is trying to kill Evangeline. That time Petra is like, I don't know what happens if all the 4 stones come together. Now they fight, and accidentally Evangeline kill Petra. Jax comes and he's like, I'll take care of the body. You go from here. Go and pack because we need to leave. Apollo cannot catch you. She goes back to her room and starts to pack. That time Luke comes in, and then Evangeline falls down. Not because she is hurt, because probably Apollo is hurt somewhere, and she has also got hurt due to that, as they have the curse of Archer. That time Jax comes and he's like, look at me, vampire boy, and listen very carefully or Evangeline will die. You need to go and find Chaos fast. So basically Jax needs to tell Chaos to go look for Apollo and keep him safe so that Evangeline can survive. It hurt Jax. I know, love. I'm going to take you somewhere safe. There is a change in area. Jax takes her to Marywood Manor into a forest. Welcome to Hollow. So he has basically taken her to his place where he used to live first before becoming a faith. He is bandaging her, taking care of her. She sees 5 carved names on the wood: Aurora, Lyric, Castor, Jax, and the final name was the Archer. She thinks that even if Jack wasn't a member of Marywood, he was definitely at least friends with them. And then she sleeps. After that, when she wakes up, she sees there is no one in the house. So she explores the house. That time Evangeline sees Aurora plus Jax carved on the wood. And that time Jax comes from behind. So basically the place they are at right now will protect her. She's like, why does everything feel so different over here? Long ago, before the fall of the Valors, an enchantment was placed on the hollow to protect it from a threat. But magic often has unattended results. In the case of hollow, this enchantment did not just keep the hollow safe from one threat, it protected it from all curses and kept it unchanged throughout the time. So that is why Jax has brought Evangeline here, so that she would be protected even whatever happens to Apollo and all. So that time she's like, then why didn't you bring me here when you find out about the Apollo's curse? So he's like, I don't come here that often. And then she's like, when did you come here last time? And he's like, right after I had become the Fae. And then as she's trying to find out all the answers to her questions, he's like, I think you have been naughty, little fox. Where did you find the truth stone? She says it from the grave. Wait, I'm a little confused over here. The truth stone was with Petra, right? Like she... Okay, I'm a little bit confused over here probably. I don't know. Anyhow, like she has found the truth stone and a Mirth stone, and one stone is with Jax and only one stone is left. So yeah. Anyways, that time Jax takes that stone from her. When he's going away from Evangeline asks this one question to him. Why do you want to open the Valerie Arch? And he says, I don't want to open it at all. So when Jax runs away from her, Evangeline starts searching the house for something, like anything. Like, why does he want those stones? He just said that he doesn't want to open the arch, so basically he doesn't want anything. So why is he behind those stones? Is he going to keep those stones to himself? Is he not going to give Evangeline the stones to lift the curse of Apollo? And all those questions are running. So she's searching the wardrobes and all. So that time Jax comes back, and that time she asks him the question, but he doesn't give her the answers. She asks, do you still think of me just as a tool? Because in the first book, he had said, she's just a tool to me. And right here, when Evangeline is asking, do you still think of me as just a tool? He says, I try not to think of you at all. So now Evangeline is asleep, and in her sleep an handsome stranger comes. He says, I can see why Jax likes you. You are a bit like her, And she's like who? And then the handsome stranger says, he wouldn't be happy if he knew I said this, but you are not careful, you'll end up like her as well. Like who? Evangeline asks his first fox. Now she has woken up from that dream, and Jax is nowhere to be found. So she is like going through the place, and there she finds a diary which belongs to Aurora Valor. So she's going through that, her diary and all. So there she finds a journal entry, and there she finds that Lala's brother is Lyric Merrywood. Jax is not home yet, like he is not there for the entire day. And then when he comes back, he is injured. So that time Evangeline is like, I should take care of him because he has taken care of me, so I should take care of him. So she does that, and then a very intimate scene happens where they are sleeping together on the same bed, and Jack says, just one night, let me pretend you are mine. And that time she's like, tonight I'm yours, but all that comes out was I am yours. After that, again Evangeline gets a dream, and in that, with that handsome stranger, Lala is also present. So of course Evangeline is very angry that Lala is there and she's the one who has cursed her and Apollo. And then that time Lala explains to her, I never wanted Apollo to kill you. You are my friend, Evangeline. I just made a rash decision the day I learned about you, who could open the Valerie Arch. But you weren't planning to do it. It was a horrible mistake, but I really do not want you to die. That's why I put the mirror curse on both of you. I thought if Apollo actually hurt you, he'll be injured as well, and then he couldn't keep hurting you. Everyone knows he's terrible at shooting. So I did not ever believe he'll hurt you in the heart with an arrow. That time Lala tells her the story about her past, like she is the unwedded bride, right? But that's actually not true. She's the one who cancels her engagement, who cancels her wedding before she could get married, because she tells, my first love is the true reason I am unwed bride. My grooms never leave me. I always call off things with them because I have never been able to let go of my love. She has tried to fall for others, but no matter what, she just can't let go of her first true love. Then Lala tells her, speaking of Jax, I'm afraid you might be in danger. And then she just vanishes off the dreams, and then she wakes up. Lala, before vanishing from the dream, tells her, if you think you are safe, it's only because you are feeling the effects of the Mirth stone as well. But you have to fight it. Find the Mirth stone, get it away from Jack, and get out of Hollow before. And then Evangeline wakes up. So this confirms that the fourth stone is somewhere in that place in Hollow where they are staying. So when she wakes up, she is trying to find it, like all of the feelings she was feeling for Jax that night when they slept together, and Jax, whatever he was feeling for her, it's because of that stone. So she wakes up and tries to find that stone, and she finds it. She finds it in the pendulum, the clock. There is a clock in that place, and she finds it over there. So when Jax wakes up, she tells him that, whatever we are feeling, it's because of that stone. It is somewhere in there. It is in this hollow. So she goes and removes that stone. Jax is like, yeah, that's true. His face, his eyes, the way they were looking, everything changes. That's how the part 2 ends. Now coming on the part 3, now they are going back to the Valerie Arch to place the stones, and Chaos has found Apollo, and he has locked him in a cage so that he won't hurt or hunt down Evangeline, and he himself won't get hurt. When they are back at the underground castle of Chaos, she's kind of feeling sad because everything that she was feeling for Jax and whatever Jax was feeling for her was because of the stone, and she just wished that it would stay, but it cannot stay. That time when she's having these thoughts, Apollo comes to her room and he's like, don't be scared, I'm not gonna hurt you, Evangeline. And she's like, I wish I could tell him that I don't like him. But then he slowly kisses her, and then Apollo says, I am sorry. And then his eyes turns red and his hand began to choke her. That time Evangeline remembers that her bed had a cage. So she puts that cage down, and Jax walks in and he takes her away from her room to his room. When she is safe in his room, Jax says, I have to go. Then she's like, what are you afraid of so much? And then Jax is like, do you still want to know what the stones do when they are together? So she's like, yeah, I want to know. And then he tells her that through that stones, when the 4 stones are together, person can return to the past. So she's like, why do you want to go to the past? So he's like, I want to return to the moment I met Tella, the Princess Stella from the Areval series. He wants to go back to get her. Jax is like, she was supposed to be my one true love. I want another chance at that. But Evangeline is like, but you don't love Tella, and Tella also doesn't love you. And then that time Jax is like, you won't remember any of these things. And she's like, why do you keep saying that? And then it strikes that if he goes back in time, her life is also going to change, as they both are not going to meet. And that time the truth that she was trying to avoid, that he is the archer, she accepts that truth, that he was the archer, means Jax, the Prince of Heart, is the archer. And that time Jax says, sorry to break your fairy tale, little fox, but ballads don't end happily, and neither do the two of us. And she's like, I am not your first fox, I am not that fox. And then Jax is like, every girl is another fox. You want to know how the story really ends? You want to know the part of the tale that everyone forgets? And then she's like, I thought you just told me how the story ends. And then Jax is like, I told you that I killed her, but I didn't say how. So basically, the first fox, she chased Jax, and when Jax was convinced that he really loved her, and when he kissed her, she died. Since then, every girl he has kissed has died. So now, Chaos and Evangeline are going to open the Valerie Arch, and Jax isn't there. So Evangeline is feeling kind of sad that he's not there to say goodbye, like not even a last bye he's going to say. So one by one now she's placing the stones in the Valerie Arch's door, and then the Valerie Arch opens, and that time Chaos is like, you stay here. And he goes in because he wants to remove his helm from his face, but curiosity gets the best of her, and Evangeline goes inside the Valerie Arch. That time she sees that the Valors, the family of Valors, are on that floor inside the Valerie Arch. They were what had been locked away in the Valor, not their treasure or their prisoners. Now it is all making sense that why Chaos wanted to open the arch so badly, because the Valors were the one who had cursed him with the helm, and now they were the only ones who can remove that helm from his head. Slowly, the Valors started to get up. They were like frozen like statues. Now they are slowly awakening, and that time Honora, she was the queen, and she's also the healer, I guess. And when she sees Chaos, she says, Castor, is that you? So basically, Chaos, the vampire, is Castor, her son. So he's a Valor. But Jax had told her that Castor was dead. The Valors hadn't created a monster to avenge Castor's death. He became the monster. Chaos was Castor Valor. This was why he really wanted to open the arch. Not just to take the helm off, he wanted to save his family. He missed them. He loved them. So that's when it struck to Evangeline that if she tells Jax that she loved him, he won't go back in time. He would remember Jax, that their story would be different. And then when Chaos's helm get off, Evangeline sees Chaos's real face, and he is the handsome stranger from her dreams. Then when Chaos came to her to say thank you, that time she made a mistake by looking into his eyes. So he's a vampire, and when you look into a vampire's eyes, it's like an invitation to them saying that yes, you can bite me, you can take my blood. So she does that, and that time Chaos bites her. That time Jax comes, and he just like, get away Castor, get away. Then Evangeline slowly faints till she hears nothing, and that is the end. But here the story actually doesn't end, because obviously there is a third book. But this book is also not ended over here, because there are few things written ahead, which I'll tell you guys, obviously. So basically, Castor, Chaos, says sorry, and he goes. Max is crying because Evangeline is in his arms, dead. She is dead. That time the queen, Castor's mother, who had just removed his helm, Jax asked her that, you are the healer. Heal her. Bring her back alive. And she's like, she can't do that, because if she brings back Evangeline, she would become a vampire. So she can't do that. Except Evangeline in his arms and starts walking, and that time the queen asks him, what are you doing? And he's like, I am going to fix this. And then she says, art stones can only be used one time to go back. They were not created for infinite trips to the past. And Jax says, I know, I'm going to go back and stop your son from killing her. Queen says, this is not a small mistake to fix. If you do this, time will take something equally valuable from you. And that time Jax says, there is nothing of equal value to me. Previously, he was going to go back in the past so that he could fix his relationship with the princess Stella, but now he's going back because of Evangeline. Now he has gone back in time, and Evangeline is in the room, and Chaos walks in and says, "Are you ready to open the arch?" So he has gone back in time in the same day, just a few hours before. Now she is going to open the arch with Chaos. That time Jax comes with a girl, and he's like, "Chaos, this girl is for you in case you become hungry after removing the helm." And he's like, Chaos is like, "No, that's not gonna happen," and all. Now they have gone, the three. When Jax is back in the past, the three are together because previously there were only two, Evangeline and Chaos, but now Jax is also there. Now that they are going to open the arch, and when she opens, Chaos goes in. Jax tells her to go away from here. Evangeline is like, "Why are you being so cruel?" And Jax shouts, "Because you won't leave. And if you stay, you will die. Chaos hasn't fed in hundreds of years." I know he thinks he can control his hunger, but he can't. That's why they put the helm on him. So basically, after that, Jeline leaves. After some time, she realizes the same thing that she realized in the, fluctuation. If she tells Jax that she loves him, he won't go back in the past, which he has already done for her. But when she is going towards him, Apollo comes, and Apollo erases all her memory. Every single memory of Jax is gone from her head, even the one where she married Apollo. Like, everything is gone. And that's where the story ends in this book. This second book is done. Now I'm gonna move to the third book of this series.